So today, there are two things that really want to get into. The first is modernized account-based frameworks. So how is ABM actually being practiced today? There's a lot of content out there that almost feels a bit recycled as ABM is starting to reach maturity. And then also measuring account-based impact, how to do that effectively, how to do it in a more modernized approach. So people first, again, a huge proponent of this, was just chatting with Mark in his AMA session about how people first in ABM can converge and almost play off of each other. And so definitely an opportunity there for a bit more research and diving into the specifics. But when it comes to modernized account-based frameworks, one of the most important things that we really wanted to focus on at ForgeX was, okay, this is what we're seeing now, but how did we ultimately get there? I'm a huge proponent of, to know the future, you have to know the past. So ABM, it's not a new concept. It was launched in 2004 from ITSMA. They were recently bought out by a massive consultancy agency called Momentum. But back in the day, they were purely focused on account-based research, came up with ABM. And in 2016, this is a really important date because that triangle, right, like the pyramid with one-to-one, one-to-few, one-to-many, that's when they launched that standard ABM pyramid approach. So everything you're seeing in market today, which reflects the pyramid, is 8 years old. And so it isn't really reflective of how ABM is being practiced in market today. And then we also have Topo, who launched their double funnel approach. This is guiding us closer to the future of B2B marketing, which is more account-based go-to-market. And then Forrester has their revamped B2B revenue waterfall, which is just a more account-based approach from their traditional demand waterfall, which I'm sure you all are well versed in. That's the classic MQL to SQL to opportunity, all of those uh, outdated stages. So in 2023, we launched Enterprise ABM and Growth ABM, which are the modernized approach for account-based marketing. So the classic pyramid, why does this not reflect reality? What we're seeing in market is you've got one-to-one and one-to-few. These are what the massive organizations are practicing. When they do one-to-many, it's basically just slapping a sticker on, let's say, a targeted ad campaign at with a mass number of accounts. They didn't really have any type of strategic focus around, and they're calling it one-to-many. They're really focused on one-to-one and one-to-few. Now, when it comes to the smaller organizations, they're running a version of programmatic ABM or this one-to-many, and they're turning to the 6 senses and demand bases for a framework or a model. So they're going tech first versus going framework first because there isn't a structural framework in this outdated model that accounts for how to effectively run your one-to-many campaign if you're a smaller organization. So this is not really what we're seeing in practice. Again, you've got Topo's double funnel. This is another model that came out in 2019. This is getting us closer and is almost the bridge from Sirius's demand waterfall to a more account-based approach, as what they're trying to articulate here is you've got account-based, this being your ABM program, and then your volume, this being your demand gen. So it's essentially a pathway for you to add an ABM program that's more targeted on top of your existing demand gen efforts and how they can live together in order to effectively run your marketing programs. And so the double funnel was a great bridge to where we're seeing the future of ABM and the future of account-based go-to-market.